Alright, first I'm going to verify that this is working, just so that way I don't accidentally start yapping and it's a private stream. Okay, it seems like it is working. Good morning to those in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indochina regions. Today we are going to be discussing severe tropical storm, Opong, also known internationally as Bualoi, which could threaten Vietnam over the next few days and southeastern Asia. If you have any questions and you would like to, no, please don't tell me that this. Oh, come on. Dang, alright. Why? Oh my god, okay. Whoops. Fixed it. Oh my god, okay. Jeez, this is horrific. Okay. Again, I don't know what's up with YouTube and starting all the streams private. I don't know what it is. Um, Man, okay, I literally checked. I spent a whole minute trying to make sure that this was actually live. Oh man, okay, I don't know. Sorry guys. I don't know what it is with YouTube and the private live streams. I even set the wrong thumbnail. Okay. This is a disaster. Anyways, good morning to those in the Philippines and Vietnam and Hainan Islands, basically southeastern Asia. Today we are going to be discussing Bualoi, also known as Opong in the Philippines, which could threaten Vietnam over the coming days as a possible typhoon. Now, if you have any questions and you are watching this video after it goes live, you can ask them in the comments and I will try to get back to you in the next video. If you have any questions right now and you're watching the stream live, you can always ask it. Yeah, you can always ask it in the live stream chat, and I will get to it later in this stream. So sorry about that. I know. Okay, I know that the Discord was clouding on me for the video is private. Oh man. Okay, second time in a row. Well, it happens. So let's discuss the forecast now. It is still a severe tropical storm. It should maintain its intensity as it enters the South China Sea before it gradually intensifies. Now, this forecast may be conservative. Its current intensity is a little bit uncertain as to how to estimate it. Is it a typhoon? Is it a severe tropical storm? Is it a moderate tropical storm? Satellite estimates are all over the place with this system. So, however strong it is when it emerges into the South China Sea will greatly impact its future in terms of how strong it will be. The forecast does call for it to become a typhoon within the next 2 days, before making landfall sometime within the next 72 hours along the coast of Vietnam as a typhoon, before it quickly weakens and dissipates within the next 5 days over, mainly 4 to 5 days, over southeastern Asia. Alright, now let's take a look at the impact. So there are still going to be at least some marginal impacts across the Philippines, mainly due to surge, wind, and rainfall. And looking westwards towards China there, Guangdong province and Guangxi province there of China in that marginal range, and parts of Vietnam, northeastern Thailand, I believe, and majority of Laos and central Vietnam there in that marginal category. That is going to be a mixture of rain and wind impacts. Looking at the slight category here, there are going to be some slight impacts still for southwestern Manila, or sorry, excuse me, southwestern Luzon and parts of the central Philippines and Mindoro. Again, majority of a rainfall, wind, and surge threats that remains. Looking westwards, southern Hainan Islands is in that category, mainly for rain, and then also parts of Vietnam, eastern Laos are in that slight category, again, due to rainfall and wind, but majority rainfall impacts, especially on that northern end. Looking at the possibility of moderate impacts, that does include southeastern Hainan Island due to the potential of moderate flooding and parts of Vietnam, mainly due to the fact that it could be a typhoon more south than forecasted. Now there is, I'm pretty certain that there's going to be at least some moderate impacts for parts of northern Vietnam due to rain. There could be over, let's see, 300 millimeters of rain could fall in this region, and that's if it's just a minimal typhoon. So if this becomes a stronger storm, there could be some greater impacts than that. But for right now, moderate impacts is what is highlighted right there. Now let's touch on the global view of tropics right now because we have a lot going on. We have 4 tropical cyclones active. Gabrielle is now no longer a tropical cyclone. It's a post-tropical cyclone moving towards the Azores Islands, eventually on towards Spain and Portugal, and then on to Morocco as a remnant low. Humberto is a tropical storm and it is strengthening near hurricane status, and it is expected to near Category 4 or 5 intensity as it meanders to the northwest. We also have Invest 94L, which could pose a threat to the Bahamas and the Carolinas over the next few days. I may be chasing that storm if it looks like it will make landfall in the United States as a hurricane. So be prepared on that. You can follow me on social media, such as mainly Twitter is where I'll be posting it, or X. May try to do some updates on Instagram as well. Oh yeah, I have an Instagram, by the way. Anyways, in the let's see, in the Eastern Pacific here we have Hurricane Narda, which is a Category 1 strength system, and it is encountering some shear, but it is expected to intensify back to a Category 2, I believe, before moving to the north and dissipating. In the Western Pacific, we still have Neoguri, which is expected to move to the northeast, potentially become a typhoon again before becoming a post-tropical mess by Alaska. We, of course, have Tropical Storm Bualoi, which is moving west, and we touched on that in this forecast right here. We also have Invest 99B, which could become a land depression as it meanders west near western India and southern Pakistan. And we also could see another disturbance there with a 20% chance of development in the northern Bay of Bengal. There is also still a disturbance in the northern Philippine Sea with a 10% chance of development in the next 7 days. That's in the longer range, though. Let's see, so here's a look at the latest satellite imagery here. And we can see the system is getting sheared. Right there you can see some of that northern side of the center circulation starting to be exposed. But yeah, I mean it's looking nice. It's a fairly, I don't know, compact system, or I don't know, dense system, I guess, in terms of the convection here, and we can see it right on here. Just a solid blob of convection that's been moving across the Philippines. There are lots of powerful thunderstorms. We also do have a band that's impacting Manila right now, or fairly soon. Looking at on here, we can see that rain band right over here that should be approaching Metro Manila over the next few minutes, may already be impacting them right now. So that could pose a flood threat over the next few hours. But yes, a majority of the thunderstorms are in the central Philippines right now, and that will continue moving westwards away from the region. Looking at the distance from certain areas, it is currently in kilometers. Yes, it is roughly 300 kilometers away from Manila, roughly 130 kilometers away from Mindoro, and looking west towards Vietnam, roughly around anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 kilometers away from where it could make landfall. Hainan Islands, roughly around 1,500 kilometers away from, and Laos, roughly 1,650 to 2,500 kilometers away. Alright, now looking at the models here, this is the European run, showing it potentially strengthening by the time it reaches Mindoro, potentially becoming a typhoon there. And then by the time it enters the South China Sea, it quickly becomes a typhoon. And by the time it nears the Gulf of Tonkin, could be nearing major typhoon status in northern Vietnam. It moves westward through Laos as a tropical storm before dissipating by Thailand. The American run here does show brief strengthening before it reaches Mindoro, and then weakens a bit after it passes Mindoro, and then strengthens by the time it emerges into the South China Sea, becomes a major typhoon by the time it makes landfall in the central portions of Vietnam, moves through Laos, and just a rainy mess for southeastern Asia. The Canadian run here doesn't show strengthening as it crosses land, but it does become a typhoon. Let's see, is this the latest run? Yes, okay, wow. Still showing it making landfall in Hainan Island as a typhoon, and the Guangxi portions of southern China as a typhoon. Interesting that that's the northern end of all the models. Here's the German run here, having it becoming a typhoon quickly by the time it enters the South China Sea, potentially becomes a Category 2 by the time it makes landfall in northern Vietnam, and again becomes a rainy mess for Indochina. The European ensembles on this storm here, pretty certain that it's going to stay south of China, mainly clipping Hainan Island, at least on some of those ensemble members here, and we can see it right on here where it's expected to go. It's pretty certain, at least on the European ensembles, where it will go. Here's a look at the American ensembles, and a similar story, should stay south of Hainan Island. And yep, you can see that right on here where it's expected to go. You can also see this other signal starting to pop up as well. Let's see if any of these ensembles really show it. Yes, they're starting to pick up on it right in there in the North Philippine Sea. Now, I want to touch on the high-resolution computer models on Bualoi in terms of timing. Let me just check if this is actually a good model run. Yeah, I guess so. This is just one solution, and it's a disaster though. Honestly, moving through the Philippines there, this computer model probably isn't going to do a great job on it. Um, but really, that's the only model we have to show on it. Whoops. So tropical storm conditions could be nearing. This would be northern or southern Hainan Island. This would be Sunday morning for Hainan Islands, and parts of Vietnam looks like, at least on this run, this would be Sunday evening into Sunday nights, and potentially making landfall. This would be on Sunday or Monday, excuse me, Monday early morning. I may not be able to live stream this due to a chase, but we'll see. Alright, now looking at the latest Pegasus, or no, actually I want to pull up the European AI run on this. It still keeps it north of Vietnam, wobbles to the north a little bit, keeping it from making landfall, and becomes a typhoon before making landfall there. And there's the next signal right after that, within the next 10 days, approaching the... Oh wait, whoops, that's not the latest run. This is the latest run right here. Yet makes that wobble to the north, and then that next signal becomes a tropical cyclone before making landfall in the Babuan Islands or northern Luzon, before nearing China in the next 10 days. There's that also other disturbance there by the Northern Mariana Islands, in between that island chain and Taiwan. Looking at the latest Pagasa forecast, they do have it as a severe tropical storm. They do have it intensifying to a typhoon by the time it exits the Philippine area of responsibility. They don't forecast beyond that, though. And I will pull up the latest Joint Typhoon Warning Center forecast on Bualoy here. They do have it as a severe tropical storm, becoming a typhoon by the time it passes by Mindoro, and then quickly strengthens nearly to Category 2 status there by the time it nears Vietnam. Could be making landfall as a Category 2 strength system, and then quickly weakens by the time it goes through Laos and then eventually onto Thailand. Oh, and Myanmar. That's this country's name. Okay, I remember that. Current signal warnings. There are Signal 3 warnings in effect for parts of southern Luzon, the Bicol region, Masbates, Mindoro, those areas, Romblon, northern Aklan, and northern Capiz. Signal 2 warnings are in effect for areas including Metro Manila, but southern Luzon there, the Camarines, and northern Samar, Leyte, northern Cebu, I believe it's what it is. And yes, in the Calamian Islands. Signal 1 warnings are in effect for central Luzon and the southern portions of the Philippines in the Visayas region. There is still a storm surge warning here for storm surge of 2 to 3 meters for majority of the southern portions of Luzon, Mindoro's in that region, and the northern Visayas region. I believe Visayas? I think. And looking at the rainfall forecast here, again, in that corridor of where it's headed right now, over 200 millimeters of rainfall are expected. You could see how strong of thunderstorm or convection there is associated with the system. So that's why we're seeing very high rainfall rates wherever those thunderstorms move over directly. Metro Manila gets in at around 50 to 100 millimeters of rain today. And then tomorrow, Mindoro gets in at an additional 100 to 200 millimeters of rain. So there, areas there could see anywhere from around 300 to 400 millimeters of rainfall. I wanted to touch on the Google AI model here, and just showing that a majority of them do have it becoming a Category 1, at least over half of them. Only a couple, mainly 3 Ensemble members, show it becoming a Category 2. Not too strong, really, at least on this Google AI's model. Now I want to touch on rainfall here. Mindoro, like I mentioned earlier, could see over 300 millimeters of rainfall over the next 5 days. This is the European run. Metro Manila could get in at around 20. Looking west towards Hainan Island, could see nearly 400 millimeters of rain, and portions of Vietnam, wherever the center goes, could see 100 to 400 millimeters of rainfall, or over a large corridor of northern Vietnam, mainly the northern third of the country. Looking at the American run, if it loads, there we go. Parts of Mindoro here gets in at around anywhere from 50 to 150 millimeters of rain. Metro Manila gets in at around 25 millimeters of rain. Hainan Island gets in at 130 millimeters, and parts of central Vietnam, wherever it makes landfall, gets over 300 millimeters of rain. Parts of Thailand there gets in at around 150 millimeters of rain. And let's take a look at the German run now. Here we go. Northern Mindoro could see over 200 millimeters of rain, and Metro Manila gets in again at around 25 millimeters of rain. Parts of southern China here, southeastern or southwestern Guangdong province, could see over 300 millimeters of rain. And again, parts of northern Vietnam could see anywhere from around 50 to around 400 millimeters of rain. Briefly want to touch on the access model, at least for the Philippines here. Again, western Mindoro, around 250 millimeters of rain, and Metro Manila, around that 20 to 30 millimeter range. Alright, that is it for this brief overview. Now let's answer some questions. Why didn't Bualoi weaken due to wind shear? I guess sometimes storms just fight the wind shear. I guess it tried to fire convection up shear, like moved it to the east to try and develop a core. So it's kind of debatable on whether or not it became a typhoon. I personally don't think it has yet, but I haven't done my reanalysis to check. Let's see, yes, Broly Meng mentions the fact that it fired convection to counter the shear there. Mammerds, hello, how are you doing? And hi, Mackenzie. Yes, okay, I know, when I drink water, I try to stay hydrated, okay? Gotta stay hydrated. I'm losing my voice with how many streams I've done. Um, I need to check how many live streams I've done this, or how many live streams in a row have I done? Every day, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, I believe that's, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 streams in a row. 9 days in a row I've been doing streams, okay, so yapping a lot. But yes, I know the water, you guys can hear me drinking water. I know, staying hydrated. Is it true that Bualoy has created its eye? I don't think so. Uh, Looking at radar imagery here, I can't really see anything that would depict that too much. I can see there, what looks to be an eye, but is that actually an eye, or is that just parts of the thunderstorm, or parts of the, just a gap in the radar or whatever? Sometimes things can look like eyes, but they aren't actually eyes. Not really seeing anything there. Microwave imagery on it. I'll refresh it, see if we can see any new details on here. Oh wow, okay, so we don't have another microwave pass in a while. Okay, that kind of sucks. So yeah, I can't really confirm or deny it. The track of Bualoi is more south now. No, it's actually more north on this forecast here. Now, compared to what's the Pagasa forecast, they have shifted more south. But in terms of my forecast here, it has shifted more north here. So we're kind of meeting in the middle somewhat. Um, yes, kind of. They have it closer to Hainan Islands in that longer range there. I have it in between the two. But yes, it has trended a little bit more to the north, which does give it the opportunity to intensify more. Now, this forecast may be upped over the next day or so. Just depends on how quickly it can get its act together in the South China Sea. It's already kind of got its act together, just needs shear to lighten up a bit. Update on Opong reports flooding in parts of the Visayas region, also red sky in the Catanduanes in Samar, and even have an earthquake in Masbate. Oh wow, okay. Um, yes, glowing rose mentions the fact that at ASCAT past shows it was potentially below typhoon status. Humberto is going to become a major hurricane. Yes, it looks like that. Oh shoot, hold on. Okay, I just want to make sure that I just thought that my Google tabs weren't showing on on the stream. I'm like, oh wait, am I just streaming a black screen? No, okay. I'm good. Okay, just want to make sure I didn't screw up anymore. But yes, Humberto is expected to become a major hurricane. It may already be a hurricane now. It's uncertain. There's a salinity pass that showed that it may have hurricane force winds, but that can be difficult or unreliable at times. But looking at the forecast from some of the model runs on Humberto here, I believe the HWRF does have it becoming a Category 4. Yes, it does. Mid-range Category 4. Peaks twice as that. Looking at the HAFS A run on it. See how strong it gets at mid-range Category 4 there. If we look at the HAFS B run on it. Oh, that's a little bit close for comfort for the Carolinas there. Okay, interesting. North Carolina. That'd be a little bit concerning. But this run has it becoming a Category 4, low end to mid-range Category 4. So generally the hurricane models, I'll check on the HMON. HMON also has it as a Category 4, mid-range, no, high-end Cat 4 at one point. So yeah, all the hurricane models pretty much agree on Category 4 out of this. So yeah, I'd expect at least a Category 3. 94L could become a hurricane, yes, and that's why it could be chasing that storm. Looking at the model runs on at least the HWRF run, becomes a hurricane by the time it nears sorry, what was I going to say, Bermuda? No, the Bahamas, and then it nears North Carolina as a hurricane. That's just one model run. Looking at the HAFS A model run, okay, I pulled up Humberto on accident. 94L here also becomes a, I believe, okay, let me refresh this. Yes, becomes a hurricane briefly by the time it makes landfall in South Carolina. The HAFS B run on it, made the same mistake twice. Okay, 94L on here, becomes a hurricane as well briefly, and then the HMON run, let's see what this has. This one does not have it becoming a hurricane, nearly a hurricane actually. So yeah, I'd say there's a good chance it could become a hurricane. Um, Zen mentions that they're getting a lot of rains in Cavite. Interesting, yes. Yes, that is this region, I believe. That would make sense right there. Yep, a huge cluster of thunderstorms moving through. Any update on the North Indian Ocean and South Indian Ocean? Yes, there could be two systems that develop in the North Indian Ocean here. I'll pull that up. Yep, right here you can see the dual tropical cyclones. Um, here in the North Indian Ocean, one near the Arabian Sea, and then one in the Bay of Bengal. So it should get more active. Nothing too extreme though. It looks just to be tropical storm. Oh, whoa, okay, whoa, never mind. I was wrong on that. Looks like that other system could try to become a minimal hurricane, or sorry, minimal cyclone, Category 1, briefly. Let's see, why is that? Is the upper level pattern favorable? Yes, looks like it's not a whole lot of wind shear to inhibit any development. Dry air, maybe? Let's take a look at that. No, it's in a pretty moist environment, so yeah, and the sea surface temperatures are always warm there, so yeah, we could see a strengthening system there. Just depends on where it goes and how much of a bona fide tropical cyclone would it be by the time it's moving over water. And you also ask about the South Indian Ocean. I'll pull that up. Nope, nothing going on there over the next 10 days at least. And you can see the one head for Taiwan there. Too long range though. Um, Drink a mint majesty tea to get your voice back. I don't think I'm losing my voice too much, and I'm just waiting for the craziest voice crack. But I think I'm doing good. You know, it's training my vocal cords, I guess, or voice box, whatever. Yes, thank you though for that advice. I'm going to save that. I'm gonna just take a picture of that, and then I'll look up that some more. Thanks for the advice. Always love the feedback there. There's a cloud cluster east of the system. Oh no, let's see what you're talking about. Okay, this thing. Yes, it does. It is a low pressure area. Let's look at the European AI model on it. And so it's just a trough that's expected to move through the Philippines. This would be on the looks to be around Monday night. Looks to be a Monday, Tuesday kind of thing. The one after that, which isn't really traceable too much, I don't think, it would be southeast of the Mariana Islands. Um, let's see, maybe this right here. Um, that might be the one that could develop in the longer range. I'm not so sure about that though. Folding reports in Laguna. Okay. Slight winds here in Cavite. Masbates is flooding. Signal 2 warnings here in Metro Manila. Yep. Some people noticed that other cloud cluster. Yep. Um, yes. Oh, hurricane force for okay, thank you, Glowing Rose, for mentioning that. I'll pull that up. So apparently we got a confirmed hit there. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I guess you're saying that this confirms hurricane force. Hmm, I'm not sure. I don't think so. But nearing hurricane intensity. Maybe one right now. Like it may be a hurricane right now, but I don't think so at Zero Zulu. No PTC advisory yet on 94L, and the latest forecast has Humberto peaking nearly as a Category 4, high-end Category 3, at least on this run here, 125 miles an hour, before gradually weakening and making that northward curve. Yes, the hurricane season is really starting to wake up. Yes. No, I don't think that next cloud cluster. Well, I can't speak to. I'm not going to speak too soon about it becoming a super typhoon or whatever. I'm not going to jinx myself. What do you mean, Pagasa? With that newest forecast. Let's see, I'll see if there's a new one out. Oops, okay, come on, please. Alright. Nope, I do not see their latest forecast just yet. 10 minutes ago, they do mention the fact that it is still a severe tropical storm with winds of around 110 kilometers an hour. Right. Let's see the other questions. Do the models have the other storm making landfall in the United States? Yes, 94L, they do have it making landfall in the United States. I will pull it up right here. And this is why I'm considering a chase. Depends on if it's going to make landfall as a hurricane or not. If it looks like it's just going to be a tropical storm, I probably won't go. No, I'm not going to go for that. Not worth it in my opinion. Like Chantal, for example. And also if it moves to the east, not going to go after it for that. But if it does look like it's going to make a landfall as a hurricane, I'll probably intercept it in the Carolinas somewhere. So be sure to follow me on Twitter. I will keep you all posted on there. Um, let's see what else there. Oh dang, JWB. I think I've. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah. Okay. I remember hearing that. That's how you remember that. Okay. Any update on the Eastern Pacific? I'll take a look at that briefly. I believe there's a signal within. Oh wait, I should I mark this? I'm not sure. Let me see if it's been consistent. It's been over the place. There could be another disturbance that forms over the next 10 days or so, and another one to the east. So it may try to get a little bit more active. Um, Fujiwara effect. Interesting. Triple Fujiwara interaction looks like there. Interesting. Um, yeah, it could get more active. Yeah, generally showing more activity. So yeah, beyond the next 10 days or so should get active. Um, okay. Oh, congrats on 2.8 that. Wait, am I really there? Johannes, are you correct on that? Am I at 2.8 thousand subscribers? Whoa, where'd this come from, huh? Hold on. Thank you. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. All right. Oh, okay, I think I know why. My hypothetical animation. Let me see if that's what got me all these subscribers. Whoa, 4.5 thousand views? Whoa, okay. Man, I have not. I need to stay more up to date on my own channel. Whoa, okay. Thank you so much for letting me know, Johannes. Um, man, okay. Whoa, alright, yes. Dang, yeah, I got like 29 subscribers 2 days ago, and then the next day, 5, 10, then 14 subscribers. Wow, okay, so, um, yeah, okay, so the stream on Ragasa there, or let me go to the past 7 days, what's gotten me the most amount of subscribers. That Ragasa stream's gotten me 16 subscribers, the 2025 animation 13. Um, yeah, some of those live streams do give me some subscribers, decent subscribers. Yeah, thank you all so much for that. Thank you all so much. But hold on, I need to confirm something real quick because I may be now the third largest animation channel, Cyclone animation channel on YouTube. I just want to compare something real quick. Um, is something lagging or why isn't the connection that great? There we go. Okay, I'm checking something off stream real quick just to confirm. And bam, wow, okay, I am now the third largest animation channel on YouTube. Wow. Okay. Thank you all so much for that, and thank you, Johannes, for letting me know that happened. Man. Okay. Well, I'm just so focused on doing live coverage and just talking about um these storms and whatever that I'm not really focused on my animations yet. I have to animate Ragasa soon, and I have to do analysis on that storm, and oh boy, that's going to be a doozy. Trying to figure out how strong it was, and animating isn't that bad for it though. Um, yeah, thank you so much. Let's see here. What else? And yes, I see. Thank you, Zen, for the congratulations. Um, well, good job, Zen, on your sub count there. I wanna take a look at that. Ooh, whoa, that's actually a pretty decent channel there. Whoa, I've got to check out your channel. That looks kind of interesting. Those numbers. That actually looks like that's a unique channel. You know what? Okay. Shout out to Zen there. Good, interesting channel there with numbers. Um, Counting up looks like 12-hour long video though of numbers counting up. But it's a unique channel. I like that. So congrats on that. All right, back to weather there. Um, HUC, how do you make and okay, back to animation questions. With track lines, I use HitFilm and I use Figma to make the track lines. Um, yes, Mackenzie, tropical storm and hurricane watches could be issued for parts of the southeastern United States. Um, I'd say at the very least tropical storm watches for 94L. How do you anchor the track line to the image map? Oh man, I think I basically just copy and paste attributes or something. I basically move them together or something. I'm not sure. Umberto is a boy name, I believe, since the name before that was what? Gabrielle. Yeah, so girl, boy, girl, boy. So the next one, Imelda, will be a girl name. Um, Wait, so okay, sorry, I'm just thinking I'm close to 3,000 subscribers. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Man, I don't really think about numbers too much. I just think about, coverage and things like that. Um, yeah, so thank you all so much for your support. Again, if you're liking this kind of content, be sure to subscribe as I'll continue doing more of these live streams. It's my goal to keep those internationally informed about tropical cyclones. Sorry to hear that though. People are stranded in a bus terminal due to Opong. Um, yeah, it's best to be indoors during this storm. Don't be venturing out. 3 people died in Masbate, unfortunately. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Again, even storms like this, even just severe tropical storms, can cause fatalities. I mean, at the very least, slight impacts, or at least marginal impacts happening for a large area there in the central Philippines. So again, if you don't take this, or like sometimes you can get caught off guard by just a tropical storm. So um, glad Pagasa was trying to forecast this as a typhoon. Whether or not it became one is debatable, but treating as a typhoon is a good call, especially with the storm surge threat. Is there going to be 2 hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean? Yes, we could see 2 hurricanes over the next 5 days. Do you see the weather system that will come after the southwestern monsoon that will push all the storms that will make landfall? I don't know exactly what you're asking, but I think you're asking about the next system after. Um, okay, well, it's basically just this ridge right here. I'll show it to you on here. And see, it's basically just this ridge here of high pressure that's forcing all the storms to move west. They're not really giving it an opportunity to escape northward. Um, Looks like that one storm nearly gets dragged northwards. Um, because the ridge weakens a little bit from that first storm potentially. Um, but yeah, it stays westwards. Not going to really go beyond the 10-day range. But yes, and yeah, that system can't really be detected too well. Maybe over the next 24 hours or so, we'll get a better idea as to where that next wave will be. But yeah, it's kind of uncertain figuring that out. I can see that low pressure area that's headed towards the Philippines. Don't think that's going to be too much of a concern though. Hurricane warning is in effect for the Azores Islands. Yes, that is due to Gabrielle. Pull that up. Now it's a post-tropical cyclone. Winds have decreased to 65 miles an hour. So hurricane warnings I don't think are needed. Um, not even, well, I guess tropical storm warnings. Um, but yeah, some of the portions of western Portugal could see tropical storm force winds. Some of those percentages are over 30% in the far western portion of Portugal. Interesting to see Morocco nearly in that 5% range. You know what? I'm going to pull up something here real quick. Let's see if this works or not. It may not, but I want to look at the percentage of tropical storm force winds, taking a look at what it's showing. Now, they're still issuing advisories on it because it is posing a threat to the Azores Islands. Alright, tropical storm force winds, 1% for parts of Morocco, which is quite rare to see. And then here you can see that 1% range for parts of the East Coast due to hurricane or tropical storm Umberto. Alright, back to speaking of which, I can touch on the strength of the system, what it's expected to be. Here's a look at the Google AI model, having it becoming a Category 4 hurricane. Whoops. Okay, I think I got that right. Yes, okay. Becoming a Category 4 looks to be just barely, at least on the consensus there. One of the runs, at least, shows a Category 5 out of it. So again, it could try to reach Category 5 status. That can't be ruled out. I'd like to know which one of those ensemble members is the one that wants a Category 5 out of it. It's this one? No, that's still 134 knots. Found it. This is the one that wants it as a Category... Oops. Can I just do one of these maneuvers to just see that one ensemble member? Yes, I can. Okay. Since this is the one that wanted it to be a Category 5, but still curves out to sea, so not really impacting land too much. Maybe seeing some impacts in Bermuda and rip current threat along the east coast of the United States. Alright, and then looking at that next system, 94L here on the Google AI model. Again, fairly uncertain as to where it's going to go. Is it going to move east or is it going to move towards the Carolinas? Should see the Hurricane Center start issuing advisories on it as a potential tropical cyclone over the next 12 hours. By the way, its center will hit Mindoro, yes. Bualoi, yep. I think you were doing a great job focusing Weather Bulletin and making track animations. Thank you. Johanna says, I like your live streams. Keep going. Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback, and I always love seeing the support. It makes me, I don't know, feel like this is all worth it, I guess. Helping you all. Knowing that this is getting out to people who live in the area. I can't believe that I'm able to stream to people who are in the Philippines and being able to talk to those people who are across on the opposite side of the planet as me. It's been a dream of mine. And yes, Johannes, don't underestimate tropical storms because they can pose a decent flood threat. And yes, there could be a slight flood threat for parts of the Carolinas on day 5 from the Weather Prediction Center, so there could be some flooding there. Is Bualoi going to be a typhoon? I believe so. Over a 50% chance of it becoming a typhoon. I'd say 70% chance or greater of becoming a typhoon. It could become a Cat 2 or greater, so I think typhoon is likely. How many landfalls from Opong? Let's take a look. What I would account as a landfall. Let's see. So we have Samar, then we have this island in Masbates. Then we have looks like 3 more islands here, and then we have Mindoro. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 landfalls, plus a seventh in Vietnam. So 6 landfalls looks to be from Bualoy or Opong. No update from Pagasa yet. Okay. Why have red sky in tropical storm Opong? What cause? I don't know what that was. I'm gonna look that up. Tropical storm Opong, red sky. Oh wow. Okay, that's pretty. Um, it's probably just the sunrise, I guess, causing that just impact or hitting the clouds. Maybe the cirrus clouds in some areas. I'm not so sure. Definitely has to do with the clouds and the sun. What app do you use to track storms? That's a good question. I was about to use my this isn't a website, but I use Discord. I have a Discord server where we chat weather, mainly tropical and severe weather. Tropical weather across the globe and severe weather in the United States. I recommend using the website Tropical Tidbits. Cyclonic weather is decent for ASCAT passes. Windy.com is good for radar and some satellite here. Zoom Earth is pretty good at seeing forecast cones. Let's see. What other websites? That's pretty much it. Let's see. How strong do you think it will get in your personal opinion? I don't know what storm. Okay, you're asking Umberto. I'd predict Category 4 out of it, honestly. Minimal Cat 4 so far. Probably up that to, let's see, mid-range Category 4. We'll see how quickly it organizes. Where is the eye now of Ompong? Well, it's not really an eye exactly, but it is over just east of Mindoro here, and that would be in, let's see, what region? That would be in Romblon Islands. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to search up the pronunciation. I need to learn Romblon. Now let's see. Am I right? What are your bets in the chat? Romblon.
Romblon.
Romblon. Romblon.
Romblon.
Romblon.
Romblon.
Romblon. Okay, Romblon, not Romblon. Romblon. See, learning. So yes, its center is located over those islands, roughly around 100 kilometers away from Mindoro, and roughly around 280 kilometers away from Manila. Any update on the storm surge warning? Yes, there still is a storm surge warning of 2 to 3 meters in the central portions of the Philippines there. Remember, stay away from the coast or beaches, cancel all marine activities, and move to higher ground or away from just away from storm surge prone areas. If you've lived there a while and you know where the storm surge gets bad and it floods, just get out of there, I guess. Really, though, you should have done that already because it's already passing over the region. And there is now an update for Opong. I'm going to check that out. All right, we have an update on the rainfall forecast. And yes, we have an update on the cone there. I will update that. Just gonna respond real quick. Alright, so I'm going to update the signal warnings here. Or I guess that the Pegasa website may not have updated just yet. On their social media account, though, on Facebook, it does show the update. Yeah, okay, so it's not there yet. I will pull it up from their Facebook so you all can see what areas are now under Signal 3 warnings, things like that. Alright. So Signal 3 warnings have been canceled for the Camarines Sur, Masbate, those areas. Still are in majority of Quezon. Still in effect for Mindoro, Batangas, Lubang Island, Martinduic, and Romblon. And in terms of Signal 2 warnings, it's been canceled or downgraded in Pampanga, and let's see, parts of Leyte and Samar. Any extensions? Parts of Palawan there got an extension of Signal 1 warnings. I believe so, yes. And any other extensions? Nope, some of the Signal 1 warnings have been cropped from northern portions of Luzon, central portions. Not really seeing any drastic changes beyond that. And yes, I want to touch on the rainfall forecast now. Here's a look at their updated rainfall forecast over the next 24 hours. So parts of eastern, northeastern Luzon gets in at around 50 to 100 millimeters of rain. Metro Manila also gets in that 50 to 100 millimeter range. Southern Luzon gets in at around 100 to 200 millimeters of rain. The eastern portions of Luzon and the Bicol region, Samar, Cebu, those areas gets in at around 50 to 100 millimeters of rain. And Mindoro gets in over 200 millimeters of rain. Palawan gets in over 100 millimeters of rain as well. Let's see, what's better out of hit film and CapCut? I'd say hit film. What do you think the peak will be for Hurricane Imelda? I think it will be weak Cat 3. What do you think? I think it's going to be Category 1, I'd say. Weak Category 1 for right now. How much rain does Bualoi have? In terms of rainfall, it appears the rainfall forecast. Yes, there's so many things going on in the world map right now in the northern hemisphere. So it's pretty much the peak right now, I guess, of the northern hemisphere. Although we could see even more activity in the eastern Pacific, western Pacific, North Indian Ocean. Atlantic seems to be the one basin that will quiet down. Well, we'll see. Yes, typhoon and hurricane season happen at the same time. All right. Uh, Zypher asks, does Bualoy have a chance to make landfall in the area that Yagi made landfall last year? Um, hmm. Let's see. Where did Yagi make landfall exactly? I'm gonna search that up real quick. Wait, no. What am I doing? I can just use Zoom Earth. Okay. It was 2024 September. Was it early September? There it is. Okay, it made landfall in northern near Halong, northern Vietnam. Okay, so that would be located right around here-ish. It's possible if it meanders more to the north, suddenly makes a northward jog for some reason. The Canadian model is the only model that suggests that, though. All the other models, like the German, the American run, the European, all want it to make landfall, generally where the cone is highlighted. Some may show it on the northern end, some on the southern end or central end of the cone, but not really that far north. It's only the Canadian run. Even if we look at the Google AI model on it. Yeah, none of them make landfall up there. You can see some of them make landfall over there in Vietnam there, but nothing quite reaches where Yagi made landfall near Halong. Do you think the Atlantic will go quiet again after all that new activity dies? I think so. I don't see any big signals in the longer range, so it should quiet down, I'd say. Yes, Imelda could be an eye curse. Gabrielle impacting Africa? Yeah, we could see some impacts there. Mainly just in the form of light rain or some gusty winds. Nothing too bad. Yes, I do believe Kirk of last year was a Category 5. And about that comment of me losing my voice, yes, I do actually think now that I'm losing my voice some. Anyways, do you think Bualoi will take the second most powerful cyclone to make landfall in Vietnam from Kajiki? What do you mean by that? Well, like this year? I forget what storms impacted Vietnam. I know it was Kajiki was one of them. Um, what was that other storm? I swear there was one here. Actually, what am I doing? I can look at my past live streams to see what happened before this. It was Weepa that made landfall there. Um, okay, it was Weepa. Let me go back even before that. So yeah, they could see one of the stronger landfalls that could become a major typhoon before it makes landfall in Vietnam. So I wouldn't rule that out. Do you think that, or sorry, any update on the 10% Western Pacific disturbance? Sure, I'll go over that briefly. Again, support hasn't really increased dramatically at all in terms of the latest European AI model. Whoops, let me go back this. It's kind of it stayed the same, I'd say, in terms of the trend. It shows a low pressure area nearing the Philippines over the next 7 days. I'll pull up for you all the ensembles. We'll take a look at that. The longer range ones, like the Google AI model. What am I doing? I have this website right here. Ooh, okay. They're liking the idea of something developing. Ooh, okay. Man, some of these ensembles showing Category 5. Interesting. Yep, so looks like the Google AI model is starting to pick up on it more. Yesterday they weren't really showing a whole lot. Here, I'll go out to 7 days. Yep, you can see that disturbance right there. Another round for the Philippines, looks like. Dang, okay. Well, let's please try to take it one storm at a time. I'll keep you all updated on this storm, though. Laugh Central, if you look at my Hurricane Aaron animation, you can see my estimate on it. Um, I need to look up where that is, Kyle. Give me one moment. Oh, wait, can I actually look that up on WeatherWise? That'd be pretty helpful. Whoa, this website is very helpful. Okay. Um, no, I don't think so. It's gonna move to the south more, like through here, looks like, or even more to the south of that, right through there. Um, so Masbate or wherever you're mentioning was right there. Should stay to the south. Actually, this forecast may be shifted more to the south in the near term, based on where it's been going. It looks like. Yep. Oh yeah, that website was Weather Nerds. Thank you for mentioning that. Yes, Vietnam is like the Philippines this year, constantly getting hit. Well, that's pretty much all I have right now. I do want to take a quick look at 99B. I doubt there's any new scatterometer passes on it, but it's worth checking. Nope, nothing new on that. I would like to take a look at satellite imagery on it. In terms of if I can spot a center circulation there. Kind of hard telling. There's a broad spin in there. Broad disturbance, so could see something develop out of this. So, just touching on when I'll do another stream, the code will probably dip down a little bit because it's moving away from the Philippines and there may not be as much traction about it. So, there may not be a live stream tomorrow. Um, it depends on if 94L ramps up quickly. Because, oh yeah, just speaking of tropics real quick, in terms of our code, we are currently code pink for Bualoi. We are code orange for 94L, and we are code yellow for Umberto and 99B. So the most likely case is if we up or like this system will be downgraded, Bualoy will probably be downgraded below code pink. It is very minimal code pink, and that means streams every day. Is what code pink is. So by the time it meanders away from the Philippines, it will probably dip down to code red. 94L may increase to code red. So code red means streams every other day. So probably not a stream tomorrow, but maybe a stream the day after that. So this would be, today is what day of the week? I believe Friday for you all in the Philippines, Friday morning. So probably not a stream on Saturday, but maybe a stream on Sunday morning. Um, yes, probably, or yeah, maybe Sunday morning or Sunday night, depending on if the landfall and what I have going on with that. Also, if I'm leaving to go chase the storm by then, a lot of variables there as to when I'd be doing a live stream, if I would, that kind of stuff. Yes. Anyways, this should break this. This should be the last day of that 9 day in a row streak of live coverage. Code pink or greater. Um, Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for your support. I can't believe it, 2.8 thousand subscribers. That's amazing. I can't believe I've been able to reach that amounts over the past. Um, Here, let me see if I can change this to subscribers over the past 7 days. 79 subscribers. That is around 3 times as much as the previous week. So thank you all so much for your support on that. Really means the world to me. And I will see you all in the next update. Stay safe, everyone.